Good afternoon, my name is Matthew Rhodes and I'm a St Dunstaner. I joined the army in 1992, served in Germany, Canada, did the summer tour of Bosnia in 95. First place I was based in Bosnia was at Maglai Finger. This was a huge finger of land. Around the outside of this land would be lots of Serbs, and the finger itself would be run by Bosnians, then Croats, then Bosnian, then Croats. So you can imagine what it's like in there. And when I was based at the Maglai Finger, the first jobs I was to do was drive an officer about the finger. So you can see the leaders of the Bosnians and the leader of the Muslims and the leader of the Serbs. One day, he drove himself to this lovely little village, which was run by the Bosnians. He went out, said I could be back soon, and left me in the Land Rover and went off for his meeting. There were lots of kids on the green in this village. They all saw me sitting there in the Land Rover, so they come and got me out to play marbles with them. So I of course went and played marbles with them. But then suddenly all the kids disappeared and the village started getting bombed. There's nothing I could do apart from sitting in the Land Rover and watch it get bombed. But it reminded me of the old Second World War films I've seen with the whistling of the bombs. So it'd be and a big explosion. I could do nothing about it, just watch it happen. But because it's my job there, I wasn't worried about it. I was scared, but I wasn't worried because it's my job there. Anyway, just after Bosnia, about 2 months return in Germany, had a severe motorbike crash. My body wasn't found until about between 2, 3, 4 hours after having a crash. When I got taken to the hospital, they had to put me on a respirator because I couldn't breathe for myself. So how I breathed for those 4 hours, I haven't got a clue. The person who found my body was an officer coming back for his regimental due. But for some reason, he went back the way I'd gone, which he normally didn't use. So for some reason, he went back that way and that day and saw my body. Yep. So he saw me, the Germans took me up to a hospital and put me on a respirator machine. My mum, the army MODs, went round to her house and told my mum about what had happened to me and said that if I'm not dead yet, I'll be dead by the time she came out to see me. She came out to see me in Germany, and every morning she told me I'd be dead by the evening, and every evening I'd be dead by the next morning. That lasted for about a whole month of them saying that to her every single day. But I'm still here now today. When I was in the coma, after just the first 4 weeks, I went down from 12 stone to just 5.5 stone in only 4 weeks. Also, my heartbeat would sometimes go really fast, sometimes go really slow as 4 beats a minute. But my fitness there, which saved my life. About 5 weeks, 6 weeks after I had my accident, I was flown back to the UK, to the Hayward Heath Hospital. I was flown back in a VC-10, but because of my brain injury, the VC-10 had to fly below 1,000 feet. Wasn't allowed to go above it. So that must have been really good fun if I'd been awake, but of course I wasn't. I was in Hayward Heath. I was in a coma for about 10 weeks. When I came out of my coma, they said many things were wrong with me. Because from my accident I had, the only injury I received was 2 blood clots in the centre of my brain. From these blood clots, I had lots of disabilities. The front of my brain had been damaged, and that's where my emotions were. So now I can never be really sad, but never really happy, just on a plain level. The centre of my brain had been damaged, and that's where my memory was. I'm now meant to have no memory at all, thus I've got my speech in my hands here. The rear of my brain was damaged, and that's where my sight was damaged. My eyes still see perfect sight, but where the brain's all been damaged, the optic nerve has all been damaged, I can see very little. Now it's basically half a penny coin, that's all I can see. So if I look at someone's face, I can see half their eye, or a bit of the nose, or their ear, but nothing else. After I came out of my coma, the doctors in the Hayward Heath Hospital then said I was going to live, but I was going to be like a cabbage. Because they did test my body, with a pin prick me all over my body, I didn't respond once to it. So then I was going to be a cabbage for the rest of my life. After 6 months, they said I'd never walk again. But I've done the London Marathon and the Brighton Marathon. So, go to them. After about 4 or 5 months, I got accepted into Headley Court, which is a military hospital base. Before that time, they wouldn't accept me into there because I thought it was too brain damaged. They didn't want to know about me. But after 4 months, 5 months, I got a little bit better, so they took me on. And they began me learning my new life again, learning how to live again. From Headley Court, I went to St Dunstan's. Now this place was amazing. I went to St Dunstan's feeling blind, feeling disabled, feeling handicapped, feeling I could do nothing. After just the first 6 months of living in St Dunstan's, I felt no difference from me to the average Joe Bloke on the streets. And that's how I feel now, no difference to me to everyone else. From St Dunstan's, I went into Hereford, where I went to College of the Blind. Because before I joined the army, I did A-levels in maths, physics and biology. Went along to the Haywards Heath College, studied there for a year and a half, but at the end of that time, the only thing I can remember was basically my name, because my memory was that bad. But life continues. So I came back from Hereford and went for work experience in the American Express building in Brighton. That was good fun, but again I was too worn out to be able to do anything, so I had to sack it in. I was being paid a full war pension and army pension, so money wasn't a problem, but life was boring because there's nothing for me to do. But after a year of living by myself, St Dunstan bought me a flat opposite a local pub. In this local pub, I met my wife. We had a great laugh, even though she's a Scouser. After staying about 2 months, we was on holiday, so about 2 years. We was on holiday. My parents was living out in Spain, so I went out to my parents from Spain. I had 2 stepchildren with her. I took her out for a meal. We had the starters, the main meal. Then I got down on one knee and said to her, "Michelle, will you marry me? Will you become my wife?" To which she replied, "Get up off the bloody floor." We did get married at the end of this. But then her father, my father-in-law, got cancer of the throat from smoking so much. And so everyone was doing everything to help him. And I was thinking, what can I do? What thing can I do to help him out? And then I decided to do a skydive. I've done 5 skydives in the army, so I'll give it a go and go skydiving in Stevie Street. So I did that I organised about 6 months before my skydive and raised over £1,000 for cancer research. The skydive was great fun because I had to go tandem because of my disability, because I'm paralysed. I had to go with this X-Power. So in the plane, all the flight up to 12,000 feet, we just abused each other regiments. Ours was the best. Got to 12,000 feet, jumped out of the plane together. That then taught me something that I could do charity events to raise money for St Dunstan's. So from that day, since then, I've done a horse dressage competition, which I won until I got into the international level. I've done paragliding. I've done aqua paragliding, which I took from the back of a boat. I've done abseiling in London. I've swam from pier to pier off the coast of Brighton, just using one arm. So I've gone twice the distance, but in lots of half circles. Then abseiling from the tallest buildings in London. I've done paragliding up Devil's Dyke. I've done the London Marathon in 2007, which took me 10 hours and 42 minutes. And I did the first ever Brighton Marathon, which took me 2 days. I was thrilled with them, but from doing the marathon, the last marathon, I got really overtired. And so I can't do that again because it made me too tired. But luckily, in St Dunstan's, I was going there twice a week. One of the staff there said, "Do you ever had a go at painting?" Which I replied no, for obvious reasons. I'd never tried it before my accident. I used to be right-handed. But after my accident, I was left-handed and also blind, so there's no point in trying it. But he said, "Do you want to give it a go?" So I gave it a go. And I've done some great paintings, if I'm doing say so myself. They're in this magazine, which will be handed around, or in this folder, which will be handed around now. The last painting I've just did, which unfortunately isn't in the folder, is of Gus Poirier, the Brighton and Hove Albion manager. And they'll be up going into to raise money for St Dunstan's. So they've got something, along but I didn't get worse, got something to continue. Also, I have done myself a book as well, an autobiography, about what happened from the time when I joined the army to present day. Hopefully I'll get it published one day, but who can say about that? The last thing I'd like to say is the way I look in life now. I think your body is like a car. You're the person inside of it, in control of it. So my car's got a couple of flat tyres and a couple of smashed headlights, but I'm fine because I'm inside in control of this.